Hello, my name is Charles, and in today's video, we are going to go over how I conquered all my intrusive thoughts, or at least, am conquering my intrusive thoughts. I don't think we're all fully there, or we can ever, fully, in that way, it's kind of a deepening process, and how you can too. Because I know a lot of people in today's generation kind of struggle. I've had friends struggle with intrusive thoughts, and it's not a fun experience. So in today's video, we're going to go over how you can solve, or how you can get through, or whatever, essentially, let go of your intrusive thoughts, not suffer from your intrusive thoughts. And I think the first way to start out with that would be realize, right? So let's say you're having some intrusive thoughts, or me, when I was having intrusive thoughts, I used to try to fight them, right? And to clarify for definitions, what are intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts are any thoughts that are like unwanted. They're not representative of who you are or what you actually believe. They feel kind of, it almost feels like if your mind was a house. Those thoughts came in without permission, and they're pestering you, and they're bothering you, and they're causing you strife. So how do we get beyond those intrusive thoughts, or how do we not, how do we deal with them? I had a wise mentor when I was growing up, and he had a beautiful beach office looking over La Jolla shores, and you could see the beach from there. Is all scenic and nice. And what he kind of, described the mind as, and I think this will be a useful analogy for anyone dealing with intrusive thoughts, is to imagine our thoughts like seashells on the seashore. So right on the beach, the thoughts are like this seashells. Whatever the waves bring in, whatever they bring in is not our choice. So when you first woke up this morning, and you had the thought, like, what time is it? I'm hungry. What do I want for breakfast? Or do I have work today? Or let me text my, significant other, right? You didn't get to choose that. That thought just appeared. That thought just popped right into your head. There wasn't some, Netflix, pop up with every available thought you could have chose, and you just, choose that one right before you woke up. It just appeared. Right? And so intrusive thoughts are like that, and all our thoughts are, just kind of pop up unless we consciously create a thought. And so if they're like those seashells on the seashore and they just pop up, right? The waves just bring them in. What we do get to control when we have those intrusive thoughts is what thoughts, whether they be loving or and oriented around trust and love and goodness and service and our dreams, or whether they be around fear or jealousy or agony, right? Those different seashells, we get to choose which thoughts we pay attention to, give energy to, and take credence over our life. And so the power in this is recognizing that if you have an intrusive thought, right, and you see it's like a seashell, right? You're just walking along your mind, or you're walking along your day, and an intrusive thought pops up, right? You look at that seashell, you can just decide to let it go. And what I mean by that, because it sounds, like, oh, this is a man's thing, just let it go, is to not fight the mind. The goal in this case is to, when that thought appears, you don't try to prove it wrong. You don't have some internal conflict where you're like, but I really think this, or, the goal is minimal battle with yourself. You're just going to let that thought pop up and let it go. Whenever it decides to go, it'll go. I mean, take a neutral thought, right? Like, what are you having for lunch? Now, when you get the thought, oh, what do I want for lunch? That thought pops up. Maybe it's like 5 minutes of imagining what would be a good lunch. And then maybe you walk to your fridge and get the lunch. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I'll have lunch later. I want to continue working on the school assignment. See how it just came and it went? It was ephemeral. It just popped up and went away at a certain point, right? Our thoughts will just come and go based on how much time, attention, and energy we give them. So the goal is when you have those intrusive thoughts, don't fight them. Don't fight the mind. Don't fight the intrusive thoughts. Just let them come and let them go. Treat them as a non-issue. Like if you leave that intrusive thought alone, it'll just leave you alone. At a certain point, it'll pop out of your mind. No thought you've had just stays in your mind, unless you will it to 24/7 all day long. So the only way that intrusive thought will continue percolating in your mind is if you continue either fighting it, agreeing with it, disagreeing with it, whatever you choose to do. Like however much time and energy and attention you give that thought, that's how long it'll stay. So the way out of intrusive thoughts, at least in my experience, what's helped me, and this isn't to be dismissive over them, right? They've caused me a lot of suffering, and they've been difficult at times, and it's really sucked, having thoughts that you don't agree with, that are just popping up and kind of hijacking your attention, right? What has truly helped me is just not fighting them. It's just not fighting my mind. Just paying my mind or my thoughts, just not giving it the weight or attention that those intrusive thoughts feed on. Because if you stop paying those intrusive thoughts attention and time, then they just naturally go away, right? You pick the seashell up, you're like, that thought, I don't like. Just let it go. Just don't pay attention to it, and pay attention to the, thoughts of your loving partner, or of your business plan, or of doing well in school, or time with your family, or something that's more enjoyable and fruitful and loving and service oriented, and your life will be filled with that. And so, I know for all those going through it, it's incredibly difficult. And trust me, this has helped me. At this point, I rarely do, so long as I'm getting good sleep, I rarely do struggle with intrusive thoughts. And it came from just not fighting my mind. Because at the end of the day, those intrusive thoughts, as scary or horrific or as they may seem, they're just a thought, right? They're just an appearance in your mind, in the ocean of your mind, if we use the analogy, and then they just pass away, right? They don't stay forever. They're just a thought, right? If you have fear over a tiger that's in front of you, well, that's a real tiger, and that could, really hurt you. But a thought appearing in your mind is just a thought. And so if you treat it as such, and you just don't pay attention to it, pay attention to other things, that doesn't mean try to, resist it and push it down and be like, I gotta focus on other things. Just let your attention be, and naturally you'll start focusing on other things. So I do hope this helps. I do hope the recognition that our intrusive thoughts really don't have to have any power over us at all. Little if no power over us at all. And we can simply let them come, let them go, and continue on with our lives, with our goals, with our relationship, and with our friendships. Because we have a finite lifespan, and we don't want to spend it having internal battles, fighting with ourselves. Like, how many people are in our head? It's just you, right? So don't fight with yourself. Love yourself. Let your intrusive thoughts go, and return to what you truly enjoy, what you truly care about, and the people you truly love and care about. Hope this helps you guys. Until next time, God bless, and have a wonderful, wonderful